This is Umar for BoxNation. It's Sunday evening here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I'm joined by El Capitano, Hamzah Sheeraz. Well, when you woke up this morning, did it all feel like a dream last night?
You know, when I woke up this morning, the first thing I felt was this side of my face. It was killing. But aside from all of that, it felt good, man. It felt good. The experience out in Riyadh, fighting on such a big card, especially it being a 5-0 or 10-0 sweep, whatever you want to call it, it made it that bit much sweeter.
Well, I think if you ask Eddie, he'll say it was 5. If you ask Frank, it was 10.
Exactly that.
Let's talk about your performance, because as I said to you after the fight, and you said to Ammo as well, he'll be a world champion one day. You've beaten a top-class, world-class fighter, similar stage of his career to yours, in his prime, coming into his prime. So that was a legit win last night.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I said it coming up to the fight and the build-up, that once I get through him, I think I've answered most questions you need to answer in the sport. That being, I fought a veteran in Liam Williams, got rid of him. I fought a fresh, young, hungry pup in Ammo Williams, dismantled him, answered a few questions on the way, got rocked myself, went 11 rounds, still carried the power. So I think I answered a lot of questions at Umar, and I think now I'm ready. Now I can confidently say myself that I'm ready for world titles.
Yeah, this run you've had at middleweight at 160 up until last night was unbelievable. But you were just blowing people away, like Liam Williams, River Wilson, Bent, etc. To have someone as strong as Ammo, a southpaw, different height as well, different build, take you into the championship rounds, was that ideal?
It's exactly what I needed. And I remember going into the 11th round, I sat on the stool and I asked Ricky what round it is. He goes 11. I was like, what? I thought it was only round 9 or 10. So it just round 6 or 7. It just shows how fast the fight goes and how much I was in my flow and enjoying it. But yeah, it was definitely needed, to say the least.
Still are early on in your career, and those shots that you took flush early on, a lot of young fighters could have derailed at that point, tried to get Ammo out of there, lost their composure, but you soaked his pressure up, kind of drained his energy, and then implemented your game plan.
Do you know what? What's funny you say that, because I watched an interview with Andre Ward about 2 weeks ago, and he was going through how he used to fight and his mentality in a fight, and he goes, when he got hurt in one of his fights, he used his opponent's energy to kind of refuel and drain them, and that's kind of what I done. Like you just said, and you hit the nail on the head. I soaked it up, and then he punched himself out before you knew it, and then that's it. I was back on top again. But yeah, let's not get it twisted. He punches very hard.
Yeah, those two left hands in particular. I think it was two shots that he
two clear ones. Yeah.
You didn't seem to be rocked or anything, but it was visible that they got to you.
Yeah.
How hard did he punch?
He punched very hard. I underestimated how hard he punched. I knew that he punched hard because of his knockout ratio, but not until you're in there with a puncher you really know. And when I felt that first backhand and my legs kind of buckled, I thought, shit, I need to wake the hell up here. And that's exactly what I done, and I overcome an obstacle there.
And Ricky was calm in the corner as well?
Well calm. The good thing about having someone like him, he's been there, seen it, done it. So anything, what happens in the fight is not new to him. He's seen it all before, and it was cool. He was calm. He goes, listen, it happens, but wake up. Get the right head on your shoulders, and do what you got to do, man.
Apart from that situation with Bradley Ski, and that was at 154, and Bradley's been around for ages, and you took a lot of heat off that and have come back immaculately, as I said to you last night. It seems at the moment like a very smooth, easy process, but behind the scenes with you and your team, you must have gone through some hell, some graft.
Right, I'll tell you what, this camp was a hard camp, man, because we had it in Preston, and I had 10 weeks of living with Hallie, Ricky and Taz, and as men, it can get all a bit too much when you're in each other's faces for that long, do you know what I mean? So in that aspect, it was hard. Another aspect was the sparring, but we managed to get that. So I'd just like to give a massive shout out to Marcus Tomlinson, who come out to Dubai with us and Saudi with us and helped me with a lot of sparring for this camp. There's not many sparring partners like him in England. So yeah, massive shout out to you, Marcus. Thank you very much. And yeah, we made it happen. It was hard, but we made it happen.
I think people don't realise that as well. I mean, you had this camp in Preston and you said it was very hard, but also taking yourself out to LA, America for so many camps, away from everyone, away from your comforts. It's not an easy life.
Not at all, bro, not at all. And being away from LA, I realised how restricted I really am there. And for the next camp, as long as I fight in the UK, my camp will be in Los Angeles.
Okay. Before we come on to that next fight in the UK, I do want to talk to you about the finish.
Yep.
Just talk me through it.
It was that overhand kind of right hook Ricky wanted me to throw all night. And when I threw it, it landed, and it was hurt. It was visibly hurt. Saved by the bell. He come out strong in the 11th round. I was on the ropes, and then I countered with a little short right hook again, and then that was it. That was all she wrote. Followed up with a few more shots, and he was gone. Referee waved it off, and then there you go. I was jumping for joy.
His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh was jumping for joy as well.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a massive, massive, massive honour to have someone like himself have faith in me, to enjoy my fight to the magnitude he did. And I can't thank him enough for giving me the platform to be able to do what I do. So a massive thank you to him and Frank Warren for making it happen.
Well, he must have been jumping with joy for a reason. Obviously, he likes you clearly.
Yeah.
But there must be some big plans in place. You've talked about Wembley Stadium, Andy Ayling, Frank Warren. We've talked about this Chris Eubank Jr. fight, and I know this was an eliminator for a world title, and that's your ambition in the game, to win world titles. But that Eubank Jr. fight in our country
it's bigger than world title.
Bigger than a world title.
Exactly that. Profile-wise, financially, in every aspect, it's bigger than world titles. So whether they make that for maybe an interim title, because I know that's vacant, I think it would definitely qualify for that, to say the least. But it'd be an honour to share the ring with him. It'd be an honour to share the ring with him. Boxing royalty, been around the sport for years, fought at super middle, been there, done it, seen it, got the T-shirt. So to even be in a ring with him would be a massive honour, and I'm sure it'll be a great, great, great fight.
But just looking at his situation, obviously the Conor Benn fight fell through for reasons with Conor. The Janabek fight was on the table with him, but it just didn't seem to materialise. And just looking around at the middleweight scene, or around super middleweight, doesn't seem to be many options for him there, apart from that big Conor Benn fight, which, as I said, doesn't seem to be on the table at the moment.
Yeah.
So if it's going to happen, perhaps Wembley Stadium on a massive bill where he hasn't got many options at the moment, this is the time, yeah?
I think it's the only one that makes sense for him. Like you said, once you narrow down all the options, it's the only one that kind of makes sense. I mean, I know he's financially secure enough to say no and whatnot, fair enough, but an opportunity like this, when you've got a young, hungry fighter coming through the ranks like he once was, as a fighter who's been there and done it, it's kind of nice to want to prove yourself against these young fighters. So if he gives me the chance, it'll be a chance I definitely relish. And
do you think he'll outprice himself?
He could do, but I don't know. If he comes to his senses, I think it's a great fight, and it makes boxing history. I think it'll be a sellout in Wembley Stadium, not just the fight between me and him, but the whole event as a whole. But yeah, our fight will definitely attract a lot of eyes as well.
Do you think you can stop Chris Eubank Jr. earlier than Ammo?
Without a doubt. And I don't mean that in a cocky way, but when I go about my business, I stand on it, and I know what I want, and when I want it, how I want it, and why I want it. And if I do what I've been doing, what was that, number 13 or 14th KO in a row, I don't see why he can't be number 15 or 16.
Talking about options, I'm not going to reveal the name you just told me off camera at this dinner we're at with you, and there's loads of people here celebrating your great win last night. But you've got another option potentially there, a massive blockbuster fight. I'm not going to mention the name, but yeah.
Listen, if that comes through as well, it's another big British name. One that caught me by surprise, but nonetheless, another legend in the game. Been there, seen it, done it. So yeah, the where I am now, the position I'm in now, is a great position to be in, because there's so many different options, and all options now are all world level fights, like last night's against Ammo. But yeah, I believe in myself, Umar, so anyone who they put me in the ring against, I'm sure I'll prevail.
Well, it looks like Joshua Dubois will be the main event on that card. Yeah. To be on that card at the National Stadium in front of 90,000 people.
Crazy. you can't even picture it or imagine it when you try to. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like I said, I'm blessed even to fight out here in Riyadh. I'm blessed. So all the opportunities are endless nowadays. As long as I keep turning up, showing up, and winning, it will continue to happen.
And of course, on a team note, fantastic night for Queensberry, Frank Warren.
Unreal.
And Frank actually made a real point about you. As soon as you spoke to him and got out of the ring, you said, "Oh, that's 4 points for us."
Yeah. Do you know what it was? Before the fight, I was saying to everyone, "Oh, it's not that much pressure, blah, 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 blah." But I was getting whispers of this Chris Eubank Jr. fight 2 weeks ago. And then, obviously, being picked as captain, it was a bit like, shit, man. I need to pull out the points here. But what helped was Willie Hutchinson and Nick Ball getting that win streak going.
Did that really help?
It actually helped, I'll be honest with you, because I was thinking in the changing room, if these two lose, then everything's on me. But they both got the win, and then we was in the lead. And all I had to do was, if I got the KO, which I did, then I've cemented us not losing. The worst case would have been a draw. But then the boys, Dubois and Zhang, just done exactly what they had to do, man. So credit to everyone who made it happen and who got the win and who banked that extra 3 million quid.
Yeah, I hope you fighters get a bit of that, though.
I'm hoping we do. Let's see what happens.
I mean, it's not like Frank Warren needs £3 million.
If I'm wearing the new Rolex next week, you know what happened, mate.
It's pocket change to Frank, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
I actually want to show you your manager Andy Ayling left a note.
Was that him who done it?
Outside Matchroom's door last night.
Eddie, my office name, I don't know. He sent me this earlier. Is he the one who done it? Yeah.
Who else would it be?
You know what I like about that is it just shows that the banter between Eddie and Eddie Hearn, Andy Ayling, Frank Warren, Queensberry, Matchroom. As much as there are enemies, they're working together now, and the camaraderie is pretty good to see, man. It's making boxing great again.
Absolutely. I know it was a 10-0 and a whitewash, but 4 of the fights certainly, maybe not the Wilder Zhang one, but they were all, the scoreline doesn't reflect how the fights were. They were all competitive fights, and that's what we need in boxing.
Yeah, exactly. It's been a while since we've had fights like that, as in a whole card full of fights like that. Normally you get a card where you get the up-and-comers fighting the journeymen.
You missed a couple of the first fights.
Exactly that.
Everyone was sat there watching
This
Willie
one
Hutchinson.
was like, boom, straight off the cuff, Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards, here we go. And then it was Nick Ball, and then it was me, and it was like, these are really fights you want to watch every fight on the show. So yeah, like I said, man, Turkey Ashek's doing great things.
You've always talked about Frank's knowledge and his matchmaking skills, and obviously you've been with him since day dot, just like Daniel Dubois, just like Willie Hutchinson. And a lot of fighters that are with him speak about how they're progressed and the pace they're moved at. And with you, it's showing dividends.
Listen, I think I'm a prime example of that. Wasn't a standout amateur.
Yeah.
No one knew who I was. Turned pro at 18, looked like a 12-year-old. And it's crazy. Like if I even show you the pictures of when you would never believe I am that kid who I once was. But it just shows Frank knows what he's doing. He is a Hall of Fame promoter for a reason. And he knows what he's doing, man. So I think I'm a prime example of that. Look where he's got me. I understand it's a testament to my own hard work as well and my team's. But ultimately, it's down to him and his team for matchmaking me, for guiding me with the right fights at the right time, and giving me these endless opportunities.
I don't know if you saw the fight with Daniel last night. You probably celebrated.
No, I missed it.
You missed it, yeah. But again, he's been with Frank since day dot. He's come through a lot. I know I talked about your adversity, but compared to his minor, obviously he's been through a lot of setbacks, a lot of accusations of being a jacker. And he beat a world-class fighter in Hrgovic last night. Someone, Daniel, you've known, since you guys were with Frank. So you must be happy for him.
Well, over the moon for him. And to be fair, I could tell fight week by his persona and vibe, he was standing on business, and there was no ifs or buts about it. You could just tell. And I said it at the start. He was in the zone, man. It was really good to see, and everyone was just fired up.
Okay, well, Hamzah, thank you very much for this dinner. Firstly.
No, it's all right, Umar. Thank you for coming, man.
And. You're flying back tomorrow morning, so safe flight back home to London.
Thank you, likewise.
And when we get some news on you, big news, we'll have a catch-up.
There you go. Cheers, Umar.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.